All right. So a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, posted a video um, about bigotry, and I said in the video that I was pretty sure that was going to be the video that got my TikTok account taken down. Well, I was kind of right. It took 3 days, 3 days longer than I thought it would. I kind of half expected it to get taken down that very same day. But this morning I noticed that the video had gotten taken down. My account's still up. I figured at this point, with all the violations that I've had on my account, um, that they would just take my account down. I'm pretty sure the next violation they'll just take my account down. But the violations that I have, they come from what they call hate speech, hateful behavior, or using slurs. And I was sitting here this morning and I got to thinking about it, about the double standard that there is in this country or in the world, even at this point. So it is considered a slur, or I don't remember what TikTok called it. Let's look and see what they said. I got to get back over to that account. Let's see. So it was removed for hateful behavior, and yep, I appealed it, and it says that the content can't be restored. Attacks and slurs on the basis of protected attributes. That's the reason for my violation. TikTok is a diverse and inclusive community that does not tolerate discrimination. We do not allow hate speech, behavior, or content that attacks, threatens, entices violence, or dehumanizes a person or a group because of their protected attributes, including race, ethnicity, national origin, religion, caste, sexual orientation, sex, gender identity, serious disease, disability, and immigration status. So, when I told her, or when I said in this video that I don't care about her useless gender psychology degree, because it doesn't matter, that's a useless degree. There's two genders. There's only two genders. And when I said that there's only two genders in my original video on TikTok, apparently that's considered hate speech. That's hateful behavior. How come there's a double standard on that? Maybe I was offended because she called me a bigot because I refused to use the pronouns. And I do refuse to use the pronouns. You're not they them. You might have multiple personalities because you think that you're a refrigerator, even though you're not. And so you might consider yourself they them, but you are a male or a female. That is it. Period. You can believe whatever it is that you want to believe, but at the end of the day, there are two genders. You are born a male or a female. You are born with a certain set of sex organs and certain chromosomes that make you a male or a female. That's not hate speech, that is truth. So there's only two genders. That is truth. Saying the truth, calling the truth what it is, calling the truth, has become hate speech. It's not hateful behavior to say that there's two genders. It's not hateful behavior to say that I don't agree with it. I don't have to agree with it. You're forcing me to agree with something that I don't agree with. That's not freedom. We live in America where we have freedom of speech. We have the First Amendment. Somebody commented on my video earlier, or on one of my videos on YouTube. It said let's go see what it says. I can't remember exactly. Oh, oh, they deleted their comment. That's convenient. So there was a comment on one of my videos that said that he has the right under the First Amendment to call himself a pastor. That he has, oh, there it is. There it is. Says, assuming the person in the video is a U.S. citizen, he has the First Amendment right to feel God's presence in any way, shape, form, or fashion he chooses, which is a lie because God's presence is not going to be around the sin that he's living in. And then it says he has the First Amendment right to study theology. I didn't say he didn't have the right to study theology. I said saying that you study theology doesn't make you a theologian. How do you say that you don't believe that there's a God, but call yourself a theologian? Theology is the study of God. You can't be a theologian if you don't even know that there's a God. And that has nothing to do with the First Amendment right. And then the next statement is he has the First Amendment right to call himself a pastor. Sure, he does have the First Amendment right to call himself a pastor. That doesn't make it true. That doesn't make him a pastor. You can call yourself whatever you want. You can call yourself the air conditioner in my window right here, but that doesn't make you the air conditioner in my window. That doesn't change the truth. You're not the air conditioner in my window. And we live in a time where you don't have free speech anymore. You have to agree with what society thinks that you have to agree with. You don't have the freedom to think for yourself. You have to think what the government and society tells you to think. You have to, I mean, I would consider, I think I've actually seen it said other places, that it's not free speech, it's compelled speech. You're compelling me, you're forcing me to call you something that I don't agree with, or to call you something that is wrong. Why do I have to call you? I mean, you can call me a dude, but I'm not a dude. But I'm not going to force you to call me a dude just because I want to be called a dude, or whatever the case may be. You can't force someone to say something. That's not freedom of speech. If I don't want to call you by a pronoun, I don't have to call you by a pronoun. If I want to call you a man or a woman, then I'm going to call you a man or a woman. That doesn't make me a bigot. That doesn't make me any sort of an it or an ist. That's just my right. It's my right to call you whatever I want. The same as it's your right to call yourself an air conditioner in my window. But there's a truth. And nobody likes the truth anymore. We live in a society, we live in a generation that doesn't like the truth. In fact, we like the opposite of the truth. We like make up fantasy, make believe. At the end of the day, there's only one truth. So you can believe what you want. You can call it hateful just because somebody disagrees with you. You can be offended because somebody doesn't agree with you. But that doesn't make you right just because you got offended or you think that somebody's being hateful. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's a lot of people. It's not the world's job to tiptoe around your feelings. It's not the world's job to make sure that you don't get triggered. The things that offend you and the things that trigger you, those are your responsibility to control. It's not the world's job to make sure that they don't offend you. It's your job to make sure that you don't get offended. And if something offends you, deal with it. Grow up. We live in a world where people cannot take any sort of criticism or anything. Somebody disagrees with you and we have to cry about it and call it hate speech. Or you could just move on if you don't agree with it. And I'm sure somebody will say, well, why don't you just move on? Because I'm calling the crap out. Why is it two-sided? You can call me a name. You can call me a bigot. But I can't say that your degree is useless and that there's only two genders. I'm going to call crap on that one. At the end of the day, there's only one truth. There's only one truth. Whether you agree with it, whether you believe in it, whether it makes you happy, it's all irrelevant. There's just one truth. And just because it offends you doesn't make it any less true. So, anyway, that's my rant for the morning. Remember, I still have a whole entire case of Bibles. I haven't had anybody request a Bible to be sent out. So if you know somebody, if you or somebody you know wants a Bible, let me know. Shoot me a message, leave a comment, and we'll get a Bible sent in the mail to you. And I will have the new Thirst Addiction video out tomorrow afternoon. And until then, Have a great day. God bless. And remember, just because it offends you doesn't make you right.